My name is Robert Hodge, and I'm a multidisciplinary artist. And I've been knowing Marcus Guillory for maybe 4 or 5 years. And, I originally met him through his work of, Red Knowledge and being a writer, being out in Hollywood and being a guy from Houston that, made it out of this particular neighborhood and then came to LA and became successful writing scripts, getting some movies and TV shows. And as we started growing our friendship, he mentioned that he wanted to start experimenting with visual art, and I said cool. So we had a conversation about text, people like Glenn Ligon and just all these random artists that use text, and Chris Ward and how they do it, and what would be his trajectory, and he started making it work, which was I thought was cool because I talked to a lot of people that want to do different things whether transition into, being a writer or being an artist or being an actor. And he was moving really quick and with attention. And when he showed me, he texted me a photograph, I could tell from that text that the work was going to be amazing.
My move into visual arts, it's an additional step. Words are in the core of everything I've done artistically. A lot of them kind of situations in my life where I'm like, shit be driving you crazy. I'm kind of going through that shit now. And the only thing ever really brings you over is the fucking, for me at least, is like the work. It's the only thing, man. It's crazy as shit. We had my little bitty studio in LA. In my house, tucked away in the corner. I'm working on wood now. I don't want to go bigger, but these ceilings I don't think are big enough, and I can't afford a studio right now. So, you gotta work with what you got. It's interesting because I'm still figuring out how I want this to finally look. I have some ideas, but the first thing is getting the words down, like getting the messaging across. Like that's a big part of my whole practice with every discipline: music, literature, film, TV. Words and language, and then storytelling are the core of almost everything I've done since I left law and became a writer.
First of all, he was using his own language, his own words that were really potent. But not only that, he was using the text it felt like a visual painting because not only when you see the words, your imagination can let loose, but his composition was really amazing. He knew what letters to make larger, what to make smaller, how to make that smudge effect. It felt really gritty and it felt really real. And I was like, man, nobody is saying anything like this in the art world. It's really true. It's really again intentional and it's really honest.
This piece right here is about a black man from the South in the 60s on his way to California thinking that racism won't be as bad because he had enough of the South. Only to learn later, nah, brother. Nah, it's gonna be trash wherever you go. It's like Alabama with palm trees. And so there's the promise of a better life and being treated like a real human. And you say, oh, go west, young man. And at the tail end of this piece, it says, go west, young man, said Satan. But when you get there, you'll still be a nigga. And then at the bottom it says California Love, April 29th, 1992. Which of course is the day, Rodney King caught all that hell. Like Jim Morrison said, the West is the best, get here, we'll do the rest. Not so much for black folks. Can't find no calm in this country, or anywhere for that matter. So, part of it starts with, well, what would this look like on a wall to be regarded? And taking words now as objects. If I ripped out a page out of a book or something I wrote and just blew it up, it might look like this. That's kind of cool. With visual arts, it's a process. It's a developing practice to see how the words would look. There's consideration of material and medium and all of that stuff. It's letter by letter stencil. I wasn't interested in just doing a silk screen and just pressing it. It's personal. Every letter is its own thing. Part of that is a very intimate commitment to the work. I'm gonna take my time and do this, letter by letter. There's much faster ways to do this. I'm very aware of that. Never considered it. Does that let it ascend to art or does that give it value? I don't know, but that's how I chose to do this. It's commonplace for visual artists who are going to use text to write it by hand. I didn't want to do that because this is so direct. I was very cognizant of the fact that my work requires you to read. It requires you to read. In order to experience it, you have to read it. You can't just, oh, it looks cool, it has a whole bunch of words scribbled on something, whatever. No. Read it, because that's where the voodoo happens right there, you know? That's where the magic happens. I'm really gonna ask an art viewer to sit up and read a paragraph or something. Yes. Which is one of the reasons why it's letter by letter, it's not screened, it's not laid out, and so that the viewer knows that this artist intentionally put every letter in there for you to regard. Period. Every letter, you know. My hope for the work when it's published, when it's out, is that the little small stories and narratives and that they regard and read will give them pause and give them an opportunity to think. The Ingredients for a Black Exorcism presents ideas, notions, and moments that even if you have never experienced it, you're gonna understand the truth of what's written from a human standpoint. If you gotta have your noble journey for whatever it's worth, you know, at the end of the day, that's what it is for me. It's easy to be satisfied. This is just another step, kind of similar to what I said earlier about, well, what if I just ripped a page out of a book that I did and put it on and blow it up? Now, that's the cheap tickets. Because I'm going into another format, how do I approach my language as visual arts? And that's why the letter by letter, the intentionality, the personal touch, the intimacy of it. My hope is that there will be some people that'll view this and have that experience, and that's really my only objective.
And so, man, I think if he's starting here at this point of his career, I can't imagine where he'd be in the next 5 years. So I'm excited to see this work. And yeah, man, I was really impressed, and I was really surprised because it usually takes a longer time to, you know, really get your voice in art. But I think because he was a writer, and I think he's a tastemaker, I think when you have great taste, it kind of, you know, levels out across the board. So, yeah, man, Marcus Guillory is going to be one of the artists you should look out for. And, you know, he got my stamp really early, not because I'm his friend, but because I care about the culture of art. And I'm willing to tell somebody, yo, this is not it, man. You know, you got to keep going. You know, let's meet again. Let's make some more work. Let's critique. But, I mean, he got there really quick, man. I think that's a sign that that's the way he's supposed to be doing as well.